Sacramento, California, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Katie Porter found herself at the center of a political firestorm this week after an awkward on-camera exchange with a local CBS reporter nearly ended with her walking out of the interview. The tension unfolded during a sit-down with Julie Watts, a journalist for CBS Sacramento, who pressed Porter on how she planned to appeal to Republican voters, specifically the roughly 40% of Californians who supported former President Donald Trump. What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump? Watts asked. Porter immediately bristled. With a skeptical tone and a quick laugh, she turned towards someone off camera and quipped, "How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?" Her reaction appeared dismissive, sparking a moment of visible tension between the two women. As the interview continued, Porter shifted gears, offering a more calculated response. She pointed to her record as a former congresswoman from Orange County, a politically mixed district, as proof she could appeal to conservative and moderate voters alike. She clarified that in a general election matchup against a Republican, she wouldn't necessarily need to win over a large share of GOP votes, given California's strong Democratic lean. But Watts didn't stop there. She followed up asking what would happen if two Democrats advanced to the general election under California's top two primary system, a realistic possibility in such a blue state. "I don't intend for that to be the case," Porter replied, her tone tightening. The exchange quickly turned tense as Watts continued pressing for more clarity. Porter, growing visibly irritated, finally said the interview was getting, quote, unnecessarily argumentative. Moments later, she appeared to reach for her microphone, saying, "I don't want to keep doing this. Not like this, I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask. I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera," before the video abruptly cut off. Although Porter ultimately didn't storm out, CBS Sacramento later confirmed that the interview continued for another 20 minutes, but the viral clip circulating online told a different story. By the time the 3-minute segment hit social media, it had already ignited a wave of criticism from her rivals and sparked a broader debate about how politicians handle tough questions. Porter's campaign quickly tried to contain the fallout, emphasizing that she stayed for the full interview, despite the tense exchange. The interview moved on and continued for another 20 minutes, her campaign spokesperson said in a statement, but the damage had already been done. The clip, which cut right after Porter reached for her mic, spread fast across X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok, where political commentators accused her of being dismissive, defensive, and unwilling to face scrutiny. Her opponents wasted no time capitalizing on the moment. Antonio Villaraigosa, the former Los Angeles mayor and fellow Democratic candidate for governor, released a sharply worded statement. "We need a governor who will work to solve hard problems and who is not afraid to answer simple questions," his campaign said. Tony Thurmond, California State Superintendent of Public Instruction, echoed that sentiment. "No candidate for governor should hide from the press or mistreat them. We owe it to the public to be transparent." Meanwhile, Republican hopeful Steve Hilton, a former Fox News host, seized the opportunity to contrast himself with Porter. "As governor, I'll serve every citizen of the state, whether they voted for the president or not, whether they vote for me or not," he said, taking a veiled swipe at Porter's earlier dismissal of Trump supporters. In a political climate already defined by sharp divisions and social media soundbites, the Porter interview became a symbol of how quickly an awkward exchange can spiral into a statewide controversy. Analysts noted that while Porter's frustration may have been understandable, reporters often push candidates to clarify inconsistencies. Her reaction fed into a perception that she's combative with the press. Ironically, other gubernatorial candidates who sat for similar interviews with CBS Sacramento didn't appear to share her discomfort. Javier Becerra, former U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary, answered the same Trump voter question calmly. "I need every vote. I'm not interested in excluding any vote," he said.
Villaraigosa, in his own interview, admitted that both Democrats and Republicans might be alienated by his moderate stances, but insisted voters want a leader who's a uniter. By Tuesday afternoon, political pundits were debating whether the confrontation would hurt Porter's frontrunner status or simply blow over as another viral political moment. Still, in a race as crowded and competitive as California's 2026 governor's race, optics matter, and Porter's viral "I don't want this all on camera" moment may have handed her rivals a golden talking point. At least for now, one thing is clear. Katie Porter's bid for California governor just got a lot more complicated.
In the age of viral clips and political soundbites, moments like these often say more than full campaign speeches. Katie Porter's tense exchange in Sacramento may have been a brief misunderstanding, or simply a case of interview fatigue, but it has now taken on a life of its own. Whether fair or not, perception in politics is everything, and what voters see is often what they believe. For Porter, who built her national reputation on sharp questioning during congressional hearings, this moment flips the script. Instead of being the one asking the tough questions, she was the one on the defensive, and that visual carries weight. Her campaign insists she finished the interview and remained professional afterward, but the internet rarely waits for full context. Her supporters argue it's a minor blip in an otherwise strong campaign, while her critics see it as a warning sign about how she handles pressure. Either way, the timing couldn't be worse. With the California governor's race heating up and every candidate fighting for camera time, even a few seconds of frustration can become political ammunition. For now, Katie Porter is back on the campaign trail, shaking hands, delivering speeches, and trying to refocus on policy rather than PR. But one thing is certain, in the digital era, every raised eyebrow, every pause, and every hot mic moment can shape the narrative. And this time, the cameras caught more than just her answers. They caught her reaction.